Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, you may hear the wind. Cold front coming through. Winter is back for a little while. I hear wind and a bird. Today, this morning, we have Redemption High Rye, 92 proof. This bourbon is aged at least 1 year, one whole year. Okay, introduced in 2010. You see that's got that bullet shaped bottle. Actually, it comes from the same distillery, the Midwest Grain Products, formerly Seagram's of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So in Indiana, 1 year aged bourbon, High Rye. Gives you the rundown right here on the label. Batch number 112, it's 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% barley. Versus Speckled Tail, bottled in Florida, but doesn't say distilled in Florida. And my suspicion is that it's also aged. Whoa, I got to talk about something in a moment here. Whoa, people. That it's distilled in, I think it's distilled and aged in Indiana at MGP. I can't prove that. I couldn't find a code or anything, but that's where a lot of that stuff is sourced from. I'm saying whoa because of something I just noticed. There is sediment galore throughout this bottle, and I never noticed that before. It's like this is just developing in here. I see powdery dust like sediment all from the bottom, heavy at the bottom and sparse at the top. Now that is weird. I also noticed that on the 10 High bourbon, the 10 High blended bourbon. I don't know what's causing that. Down here, you know, we get a lot of humidity and then it gets dry for a day or so, and then a lot more humidity. And we're talking about extreme humidity. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. But it seems like it would affect, no, there's too many variables, right? I'm saying it would affect all the bottles, but the yeast strain is different, you know, in each. So I don't know. It's really strange, though. Let's see here. Nope. Clear. I mean, there's a little bit of sediment. Wait a minute. No, there's a lot. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on around here? It could be just a common thing, but I just never noticed it. Sam Yarborough says, I want a chilada. A chilada. All right, so Speckled Tail. Well, I'll be able to tell these apart. Yeah, I think. Well, this one's a lot, or a little bit darker. No coloring added. This one is American whiskey. It's not rated as bourbon, and probably because they're aging it in used barrels. Because you know it's probably 70% corn, 75% corn. But they're probably utilizing the used barrels. I ought to look up Midwest Grain Products website, because they give it's a catalog or a menu list of all the different products you can order from them. Not you or me, but if you're a distiller. And if you want to be a customer, they'll take you on a personal tour of their facility. I mean, a customer like you're going to buy 10 18-wheelers full of gin or something. It's not like they're going to talk to me or you. I mean, they might. I could ask them, could I go on a tour? They'll probably say no. But I've never asked. Sometimes if you ask, you might be surprised. Might be surprised. I think the next one up against Speckled Tail is going to be the, I think I'll bring in all the Sazerac, you know, Buffalo Trace Barton Distillery products. I've got a lot I can run through on that. Like, if you've been watching these challenges, you know what I'm talking about. The Barton, 4-year aged. That's the very old Barton. This one's lighter, so the redemption is lighter. Barton, McAfee's old number 8. 10 High. Might do 10 High first since it's blended, and then bring in the straight bourbons. Yeah, you know, and then Ancient Age and Kentucky Tavern. And am I forgetting something? And then we'll go, I think I'm forgetting one. Well, then we'll go with the Jim Beam Original, then Jim Beam Choice, 5-year aged, charcoal filtered. Then Jack Daniel's old number 7, and then Jack Daniel's number 7, the green label. That'll round it out. We'll be done. And Speckled Tail will be, you know, about halfway through the bottle, I guess, by the end, 3/4. I'm still trying to drink down that Christian Brothers, the Christian Brothers Sacred Bond. I'm down to the bottom 25%, but I mean, it's taken a long time. That stuff's 100 proof. So maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I'm sipping on a little of it. Like I said, once I'm done with that, I can ramp things up. I just got to get it. You hate to say get it out the way since it's good or maybe better than any of these whiskeys that I have, but we're going to get back to brandy. But it won't be anytime soon. You look in those cabinets, all the Scotch, blended Scotch, all the Canadian blended whiskey, all the American blended whiskey, and you'll say, yeah, I see why you're not getting rounding back to brandy anytime soon. I would have kept doing brandy, but there wasn't a whole lot of interest in it. People were like, oh yeah. I mean, there was some. I would get comments, oh, E&J this, E&J that. The Christian Brothers. So there was interest. There was certainly interest. There is a following for brandy. There wasn't much interest. Plus, it was a whole lot more expensive. There's a few inexpensive brandies, but then the rest, you're talking $25, $30, $40 a bottle and higher. So you get your 3 main ones or your 4 major brands. Hartley, you don't want to mess with that. I don't think, VSOP. Then you got your Paul Masson, E&J, and the Christian Brothers. But above that, now you're talking $25, $30 a bottle. And with these whiskeys, you can get a whole array, you know, hundreds of bottles, different brands for $15 or less. So Yorn says, cheers, man, in the dark. Yeah, but the sun is coming out. That's going to change once they jump to the pretend time, right? You know, pretend time, daylight savings time, to be dark till 7 a.m. Oh, man. I'm not going to get into that because some people love it, other people hate it. Yeah, okay, this aroma is an aroma commonly associated with whiskey, right? As the U.S. government says. Over here, same thing, but it seems to have more rye spice. Seems to have. Seems to have. I like hearing that bird. Charred oak. A little bit of that. You say, yeah, but the Speckled Tail's not bourbon. I know, but they're using a used barrel. It may not really make much of a difference, though, because they're aging it 4 years. And so the bourbon, they're using a new barrel, but they're only aging it 1 year. So that might even out. It may not make much difference. So far in the aroma, I can't really tell, honestly. They both smell good. Now, one thing you must consider, please consider this. The Speckled Tail is $10.99. the redemption is $23.99. Now, it's twice as much money for the same size bottle. Now, if it's not twice as good, it loses by default, right? So it's like, why would I pay over twice the price and get something that's only marginally better if it's better? You know, if it's better. And if I can't tell them apart, right? So I can't tell them apart. Okay, well, then that means Speckled Tail wins. The lower price one is going to always win if there's virtually no flavor difference, no aroma difference, and I can't tell them apart. Okay, so you're going to go with the lower. I would go with the lower price. I mean, I'm not over here to pay twice as much so I could say, oh, look what I've got. It's got a cork. Big deal. Got a cork. The other one has a screw cap. Okay, I don't really care about that. Okay. A lot of dried flowers and some spices like cinnamon almost, but you know, it doesn't have that in it. Has that smell though? Let's go with the taste. Now, when I go up against the Sazerac brands, they're all about the same price, so that won't matter. Huh. Sweet, sweet, sweet corn. Yeah, there's a lot of corn there. I'm glad I finished those grits. I want to take a break from grits for a while because of all that bourbon. It's like I had corn overload. I ought to go get some. And then Sunday I had some nacho chips. That restaurant wasn't very good though. So it's like, oh man, I got to take a break from corn, drinking corn, eating corn. Same type approach here on the right, your left maybe. Same approach, but it's got more rye spice and it has more burn going down my body. You know, it's got more burn. It's got to be the redemption. You know, you just, that 92 proof is going to burn. 92 proof, that's a little much for me. I would rather 80 proof. 80 proof is right there, perfect for me. Other people say, you're a wimp. We're into the high proof. That's good. I don't like it, but if you like the high proof whiskeys, there's no problem. I don't. Well, I mean, they taste good. They're just too strong. Oh, there's a little wax here, like beeswax. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. JBM says, I went through time when I experimented with scotches. And to be honest, some of the best whiskeys I tasted were cheaper blended scotches. I agree. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's the best. Yeah, because I haven't noticed that the expensive ones were too much better, if they were better. But I mean, obviously, like the Four Roses 10-year age special edition and that Pappy Van Winkle, I mean, those are really exceptional. I only had 2 little vials of each, you know, a little vial of each, maybe 6 ounces of each. But I mean, they're $125 a bottle. I mean, no way, I'm not paying that. Sorry. Was it that much better that you would be willing to pay that much though? No. No way. I'm not paying for the hype. Sorry. Sorry, folks. I know a guy that buys that kind of stuff, and I asked him, I said, Mr. Bruce, is that stuff really worth that money? He said, I don't know. I never drank it. I said, what? He's always making special orders at Mathern's. $125 bottle, 4 Roses, or whatever, you know, any special Jim Beam, you know, some really expensive Jim Beam version or Jack Daniels version or Frank Sinatra. He said, no, I just have a room where I'll put them in a room. I said, what are you talking about? He said, oh, I have this one room in my house where I just buy these bourbons or whiskeys, whatever. It doesn't always have to be bourbon, I don't suppose. And I just keep them in there. I said, well, how long you been doing that? He said, oh, about 45 years. I just like to get a hold of that stuff, huh? That's what he likes to do. He doesn't drink them. He just buys them. That caught me off guard. I thought he was like some big connoisseur, you know. No, he's just a collector. Huh? He's about 72 years old. I don't know if he ever plans on drinking the stuff, but I don't know if he'll ever finish it off. But that's really not the goal. He drinks beer. I know he likes to go taste different beers. I don't know. Anyway, it just amazed me that somebody would do that. He's probably not the only one. You know, there's probably other people out there with a room full of whiskey that's never been opened. I tell you what, though, this other one on the left has a noticeable rye spice, too. This is going to be tough. Now, Speckled Tail's coming from Caribbean Distillers of Auburndale, Florida. This is like a new company. They're not just a brand holder. I mean, they are essentially a brand holder. They contract distill most of their stuff. They do their own distilling of rum. At this time, they said they have pictures of their small distillery. Well, it's a little bit bigger than what you say a craft distillery, but they said that right now they're just doing the rum, and maybe in the future they'll distill whiskey and whatnot. And I have one of their blended whiskeys in the cabinet called King Square. I bought that in Texas. But like I say, some of their stuff's starting to come out over here now. But I haven't seen King Square. That stuff's really light. Can't believe how pale it looks. I don't know what it's going to taste like. All right. Anyway, I'm going to call it. I think this. Oh, yeah. Before I call it, I don't know. It's starting to trip me up a little bit. This rye over here is starting to kick in. Like, as it breathed, it's starting to get me a little nervous. But no, I don't think. No, which one's better? I guess it's a tie. They're both really nice. So in that case, you know which one I'm going to buy? The Speckled Tail, because I'd rather pay $10.99 than $23.99 if they're both good. Now, I think this is the Speckled Tail, and I think that's the Redemption. And I'm pretty confident. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to feel funny, but I think I know. Speckled Tail. Yay. And RHR, Redemption High Rye. I got it. Okay. Well, see, you do these tastings enough, you can start to really tell them apart. Mostly. I've had some catastrophic failures along the way. So that's the end of that. Now, what's next? I think we'll go and start up against the Sazerac lineup, which will take a while. There's a lot of them. I've got a lot of them. So we'll go up against Sazerac stuff, then do the Jim Beam and the Jack Daniels, and then by that time, that'll be over with. And I probably need to bring in that T.W. Samuels, because I've been sitting on that for 3 years now, I think. And that needs to be brought in. I mean, that's a joke just to sit on that. And I need to bring in that 75 South blended whiskey from Louisville. I mean, that thing is gonna. I mean, it shouldn't be in there that long. And then, yeah, I went on a little buying spree, you know. And then bring in the Piper Dean Scotch and the all those Canadian. I mean, it's so much. It's just, I'm not gonna sit there and talk about it. It's overwhelming, but in a fun way, you know, not a bad way. Okay, so thank you for watching this video production, and then I'm going to try to do one in 2 days. 2 days, okay. And actually, I might. I might have to double up one day, like Thursday, do one in the morning and one in the afternoon for scheduling purposes. Okay, we'll see about that. Doesn't matter. Thank you.